Two cities just 15 minutes apart. One filled with centuries of history and charming buildings, the other with beaches, piers and coastal charm. We're in Poland's Riviera, spending 2 days exploring Gdańsk and Sopot. We're starting our journey in Gdańsk by entering through the famous Golden Gate, one of the main entrances to the historic Old Town. From here, we're led straight onto the town's main road, known as the Long Market. The Long Market is a centerpiece of the Old Town. Although much of this area was destroyed during the Second World War, it has been carefully rebuilt to reflect its original appearance. As you walk along the street, you'll notice the rows of colourful merchant houses. Many of these once belonged to wealthy traders, with each building designed to reflect its owner's success and status. What you can see in the background is Neptune's fountain. This marks the centre of the Long Market Street and is one of the busiest areas in the Old Town. The whole street, and in particular the centre, is filled with cafes and restaurants, and compared to many other European countries, the prices here are very reasonable. As we walked through the Long Market, we noticed one place that really stood out, and it's called Pan Pretzel. The lines were always huge, and it seems like it's one of the most popular food places in town. Each building in the Old Town is impressively designed, especially considering the restoration levels post-World War II. Everywhere you look, you're impressed. The town is also extremely clean, and there's not much graffiti like you would see in other major European towns. Now we're moving away from the Long Market main street and exploring some of the other roads nearby. Just around the corner is St. Mary's Church, one of the city's most famous landmarks. It's hard to miss with its huge size and impressive Gothic design. Another notable place in the Old Town is Mariacka Street. This is a cobblestone pathway that's lined with small stores and historic buildings on either side. It's much more narrow than the Long Market, and it gives it a completely different atmosphere. Around here, there's also plenty of options to try some local Polish dishes. While here, we tried some zurek, a traditional soup, as well as Polish dumplings. This type of dumplings was called piuchi, which is more famous in Gdańsk. Other areas of Poland have different variations. Piwna Street translates to Beer Street, and it's another notable avenue to explore in the Old Town. As the name suggests, the area has a strong connection with cafes and places to drink. However, it's not a big rowdy drinking street. Instead, like the whole of the Old Town, the area is clean and calm. At the very end of Beer Street stands the Great Armoury, which is a 17th century arsenal that looks more like a grand royal palace than a weapons depot. As we continued our walk, we arrived at Gdansk's waterfront area. This was a huge highlight for us, being able to stroll along the long paths of the Motława River. Originally, this river served as a major shipping and trading hub. Nowadays, the waterfront area has been restored, and you'll see a mix of historic buildings on one side, alongside more modern transformations on the other. Many of the old warehouses have now been converted into hotels, restaurants and other spaces, giving the area a unique blend of old and new. Because of its strong trading with the Netherlands in the past, as you can see, the old buildings here have a strong Dutch theme, driven by the tall, narrow and colourful designs. As mentioned earlier, World War II destroyed 90% of the city, and before the war, many of the buildings were heavily German inspired also. So another reason why the city looks so Dutch inspired is due to its history after World War II, where there was an intense political effort to shed all German architectural influences. Polish builders decided to rebuild an idealized, amplified version of the historic Dutch waterfront. There's several bridges to get to the other side of the promenade. There's even a unique rotating bridge called the Saint Spirit Footbridge. Instead of lifting upwards like a traditional drawbridge, it pivots horizontally to allow boats and yachts to pass through. The river is highly active here, with numerous boat tours constantly on offer. The old town isn't that big, so you really only need one day to explore it. Now we're walking to the other side of the city, where Gdańsk's central train station is located. As you leave the historic core, you start to wander through some less busy streets, which eventually takes you into a more modern, localized district, which is also good to have a look. From the Gdańsk train station, you can pretty much go anywhere in Poland and beyond. And just 15 minutes away lies the beachside town of Sopot, which is exactly where we're headed. Getting off at Sopot's train station, this was an unexpected and complete change from Gdańsk. Being so close, it's a complete change of setting. The heavy brick architecture of the old city instantly gives way to a modern vibe. It feels much like a summer resort destination. As soon as you get outside the train station, you hit the town's main pedestrian street, known as Monte Cassino Street. Locals also call it Mariacka. This is a lively, car-free avenue that is a true heart of Sopot. It's packed with vibrant outdoor cafes, street performers, and unique shops, all leading you down the famous Baltic beachfront. Before becoming a popular beach resort town, Sopot was a small fishing village. It's hard to believe that when you look at the area nowadays. The crowd here is noticeably much more relaxed. A lot of Polish people come here for a relaxing time, especially in the afternoon. The main street centre goes on for about 600 metres. The food here is also great. While there's not as many heavy traditional restaurants as you'd see in Gdańsk, Sopot is filled with many great cafes and dessert spots. Now we're towards the end of the main street, and we're in a spot known as Spa Square. We're right next to the beach. This square is filled with great gardens on the inside and luxurious hotels on the outside. The building on screen is of Sopot Lighthouse. It was built in 1904. It wasn't actually used as a typical lighthouse, and instead it was used as a chimney for all the spas in the area. On the edge of the square lies Sopot Pier. During the summer months, you actually have to pay to enter. However, instead, it's best to turn left or right and walk along the boardwalk, as you can get great access to the coastline and the beach. We didn't do too much research here about the beaches, so we were surprised to see how nice they were, with large sand stretches and a bunch of beach chairs and food spots along the way. The only problem here though is the weather. Because we are so far up north, the weather is extremely variable, and not every day is hot. We were here in July, Poland's summer season, and we actually had our jackets on. However, the days here can change. One day can be below 20 degrees Celsius, while the next day can be above 30 degrees. It was also great to see how many activities there are to do here. You'll see many people out on the sand playing volleyball and doing a range of sports. To end the afternoon, we did a long walk through the boardwalk. In July, it doesn't get dark till around 10 PM, so you can make the most of your day. The boardwalk was definitely a highlight of our trip. Being in the city, then coming here just 15 minutes away, to a place like this is incredible. Near the beginning of our walk, we passed the Grand Hotel, which is packed with history. The hotel was originally built for millionaires in the early 1900s, and there was even a time where it was overtaken by Germany as a military headquarters base. Nowadays, several films are featured here. There's two paths along the boardwalk that run next to each other. One is for pedestrians and the other is for cyclists. There's also spots where you can rent a bike for an hour or two, which is a great way to see everything. For our accommodation, we stayed right inside the historic centre of Gdańsk, at Hotel Wolne Miasto. The rooms here have a classic, unique feel to them, and staying in town is highly affordable. We only paid €50 for the night. However, if you want something more modern and luxurious, then staying in Sopot is definitely your best option. And that's a wrap on our trip to Poland's Baltic coast. 2 days and 1 night here is definitely enough time to see everything. However, if you want to relax along Sopot and also gain more insight into the history of Gdańsk, then it's worth staying longer. Remember to subscribe to our channel to keep watching our videos of Poland and the world.